All right, everybody, welcome to the Find a New Way to Live Challenge. Today we're going to be talking about success. We're going to be talking about our own personal definition of success. First thing we need to know that our success is our responsibility. It is up to us to create the life that we want to live, and if we don't, we can't blame anyone but ourselves for that. We live in a day and age where there's unlimited resources available to us. We can Google anything, we can go to libraries, we can learn anything that we need to know about anything that we want to become anything that we want to be. The true definition of success in our life right now needs to be defined by who we are, what we want, and our current situation that we're trying to build in our lives. So today we're going to talk about how our definition of success has changed over time. We're going to talk about how our definition of success has evolved over time, and also how it's going to continue to grow over time as well. Our definition of success is going to be different than other folks, and we need to be able to acknowledge that what success means for us may not mean success for someone else, and we need to be able to accept that we are different people. There are 7.3 billion people on the earth as of today. The dictionary definition of success says the achievement of one's goals, to accomplish an aim or purpose. So an accurate description of that would be to acknowledge that there must be over 7.3 billion definitions of success in the universe today. So what we're going to do today is to be able to define ours and how we're going to be able to create that a reality in our life. So I want you to reflect back, 4 or 5 years ago, and think about the life you were living then. If you were in high school, maybe you were struggling with an addiction, maybe you might have been homeless, maybe you might have been in a job you didn't like, or you may have been in a position in life that you really truly enjoyed where you were at. And I want you to be able to think about what your definition of success was at that stage in your life. Now, whether you can acknowledge that you were working towards that or not, be able to acknowledge that you were at a different place in your life and that you had a whole different set of influences, you had a whole different set of life circumstances, therefore you had a whole different view on your life and the world. So think about that and think about what success meant for you 5 years ago. Now, I know for me, early on in my recovery journey, my definition of success, all I wanted to do was to get a job and get my GED. That's all I wanted to do. At the time, I couldn't see beyond that because I couldn't imagine myself being capable of doing anything more than that. After I understood that success in my life was to be able to obtain my GED and to get a job, that's what I began working towards, and that's what I accomplished. So after I accomplished that, my definition of success had to change along with that. So once I accomplished those two goals, I had to recreate a new definition of success in my life, and I had to acknowledge what I was going to start working towards next. Because I didn't want to be at a place where I just achieved a very lower level goal and just accepted that that's all I wanted, that's all I was worth, that's all I was capable of achieving. So at that time, I started to get a bigger vision of what my future looked like based on the people I surrounded myself with and the level of success that they created in their life. Now, if you go back 10 years from now, I was hooked on drugs, I was a high school dropout, convicted felon. My definition of success back then was very limited. My definition of success at a time during my active addiction was, if I had drugs today, I was successful. If I didn't have drugs, I was unsuccessful. That was the life and the mentality that I lived for a lot of years, not knowing that there was a way out, not knowing that I could find a new way to live, and not knowing that I could grow and become anybody that I wanted to be if I was willing to identify who I wanted to be and was able to put in the work to get there. So spend some time thinking about that and maybe talk with some folks about their definition of success and how it's changed for them over time, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, to be able to understand what has shaped the person we have we have become today. And through those discussions, you'll be able to see that each person has a different definition of success, and you'll be able to see how their definition of success has landed them in the position they are today. Same with you. After you're able to understand that that's changed over time, sit and reflect on where you are currently in your life right now. Now, if you're a high school student, if you're a college student, if you're a single parent, if you're a husband, if you're a businessman, if you're a recovering addict, everyone's definition of success is going to be different The point is that we need to be able to acknowledge what success means for us. That way we know personally what we're working towards on this journey of finding a new way to live. What we don't want to do is just accept someone else's definition of success, take that on as our own personal definition, and then begin working towards someone else's goals, someone else's dreams. The whole point of finding a new way to live is to understand who we are, what we want, and what we're going to have to do to get there. And this definition of success is going to be crucial right now because we need to know that we are on a different path than most people. We may be on a different path than folks in our family. We may be on a different path than our friends. We may be on a different path than a lot of folks that we've grown up with. And we need to be able to accept that in order to grow in this journey on our own path of success. We need to be able to accept other people for who they are and where they are as well. Also, I want you to start thinking about a vision of success in your life that is beyond anything that you've ever dreamed possible. My biggest struggle or my biggest downfall 5 years ago looking back was that I had a vision of myself that was so limited that I couldn't see myself achieving anything beyond the most lower level goals that I could come up with. Like I said, it was a GED and to get a job. That's all I wanted. And if that's all I ever would have got, I probably would have accepted that. Not knowing that I could go on and to receive a college education, become a homeowner, advance in my career, get a way better paying job than I ever dreamed possible, be able to accomplish far more than I was capable of accomplishing 5 years ago. And what happened was my definition of success changed. My idea of who I was and the person I wanted to become had changed. So therefore my view on the world had changed. Therefore the actions that I was partaking in on a daily basis changed to move me in a different direction in life. Also, I want you to acknowledge that there are going to be challenges along the way of finding a new way to live. We are going to run up against family members who may want to keep us in a comfortable spot, friends who may not believe in our vision, a community who may not all the way believe in our vision. We may have people in our life that want to keep us in the position we're in right now because we may be comfortable right now. We may be safe right now. We may be out of harm's way right now, which is great, but we need to not get stuck in a position in life where we're no longer striving for something, where we're no longer trying to become the strongest version of ourselves, where we're no longer trying to live up to our biggest dreams and our goals and our values and the seed that's been planted inside of each and every one of us. That's the goal, is to be able to go within, to be able to identify the seeds that have been planted within us, to be able to water them seeds and to let them grow to become the life that we've dreamed of living. So overall today, here is the challenge for today. What we're going to do is we're going to acknowledge what our past vision of success looked like, what our past definition of success was. We're going to identify what success looks like in our life right now. Like I said, if you're in school, your definition of success may be to get your homework done every day, to get your diploma, to get your GED, to get your degree. If you're a family man, your goal of your definition of success may be just to go to work every day and provide food for your family and shelter for your family and to pay all your bills on time. If you're a recovering addict, your definition of success may be just to not use one day at a time and continue participating in whatever program that's keeping you clean and sober and to build off that one day at a time. But eventually, whatever we're doing right now, if we're focused on accomplishing it, we will accomplish it. And once we do, our definition of success needs to change. Therefore, we can continue to grow in life and not reach a place where we just are satisfied, we become complacent, we become depressed, we become stuck, and therefore we stay trapped in a cycle of life that we no longer need to live in, and we can continue to grow. And also know that as we achieve and as we become and as we grow, our definition of success is going to evolve over time. The goal is to be able to look back 6 months from now or a year from now and say, wow, I remember back then my definition of success and what I was working towards was this. But now after I accomplished that, I have a whole new vision and I know I'm capable of doing far more than I thought I was doing before. So that's the goal for today. Acknowledge what your definition for success is, write it out. We need to be able to have this crystal clear, that way we can look at it and acknowledge who we are, what we're trying to become, and what we're gonna do to get there. This is gonna be a big part of the Finding a New Way to Live challenge moving forward because this is a personal journey. Like I said before, we need not compare ourselves to other people's vision of success and compare our goals and our daily activities to what someone else is doing, because they might be moving down a completely different path. The goal here is to own our path, to own what we want, and to be able to work towards making that a reality. Hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Talk to you soon.